In 1905, a British bacteriologist lined up every patient in a psychiatric hospital, assigned them numbers like inventory, and fed them 2 different types of rice to see which group would get sick first. This is the Beriberi experiment, when colonial medicine turned captive populations into controlled variables. Welcome back to the lab, my curious test subjects. Today we are talking about the time British physicians in Malaya decided to solve a tropical disease mystery by running dietary experiments on people who could not say no, could not leave, and in many cases had no idea they were part of a study at all. 2 experiments, 2 different captive groups. One question: when your subjects are already trapped, is informing them really enough to call it consent? Let us find out. At the turn of the 20th century, Malaya was a British-controlled territory dealing with a massive public health problem, Beriberi, a debilitating illness that caused nerve damage, paralysis, heart failure, and death. Nobody knew what caused it. Some thought infection. Others suspected diet. But theories do not save lives. Evidence does. Enter William Fletcher, a British bacteriologist trained at Cambridge, working in Kuala Lumpur in 1905. Fletcher had a hypothesis about rice. Specifically, he thought white rice might be connected to beriberi, and parboiled rice might prevent it. Parboiled rice is partially boiled in its husk, which keeps more nutrients in the grain. White rice is milled, stripped down, polished. It tastes better. It also removes the husk, the bran, and the germ. But here is the thing about testing a dietary hypothesis. You need a controlled environment. You need a large group eating identical meals for months. You need compliance. So how do you test a theory about food when you need hundreds of people to eat exactly what you tell them for months on end? Fletcher had an answer: a psychiatric hospital. In those days, psychiatric institutions were enormous locked facilities where patients stayed for months or years. Their diets were completely controlled. Think of it like a clinical trial, except the subjects never signed anything, never got paid, and had no idea they were in an experiment. Completely ethical, obviously. In research ethics terms, that means he had a building full of people who literally could not leave and had zero control over what they ate. Perfect conditions. For science, Fletcher lined up all the patients and gave them numbers. Like inventory. Odd numbers went to one ward, even numbers to another. Ward 1 got white rice. Ward 2 got parboiled rice. Everything else was identical. Then he waited. Ward 1, beriberi outbreak. Ward 2, mostly fine. Fletcher had his answer. Sort of. Fletcher proved white rice was connected to beriberi, but he did not know why. And his experiment had another problem. Captive subjects in a controlled institution do not exactly scream ethical rigor. So 2 years later, in 1907, 2 physicians, Henry Fraser from Scotland and Thomas Stanton from Canada, tried a different approach. But what if you told your subjects about the risk and let them choose? Fraser and Stanton went to remote areas of Malaya and found Javanese laborers building roads in isolated work camps. These men were healthy, far from other populations, unlikely to catch anything infectious. And here is the key detail. Until the work was done, they could not easily leave. In research ethics terms, that means Fraser and Stanton had found the perfect captive audience. But this time, they informed the workers. They explained that parboiled rice was suspected to be healthier. They admitted white rice might be dangerous. The workers listened. Then they chose white rice anyway, because it tasted better. Imagine your boss offering you 2 meal plans at a work retreat you cannot leave. One tastes great but might paralyze you. The other tastes like cardboard but keeps you healthy. And then calling that a choice. The researchers split the camps. Half got white rice, half got parboiled. Camp 1. White rice, happy workers. Rising beriberi. Camp 2. Parboiled rice. Complaints, almost no beriberi. Fraser and Stanton had replicated Fletcher's results in a new population. They had warned the subjects. They had offered a choice. Very progressive. But in research ethics terms, that means consent given when you literally cannot leave is not really consent at all. Good subjects, they called them. Good subjects. Healthy, isolated, informed in a fashion, and trapped, We now know beriberi is caused by thiamine deficiency. Parboiled rice keeps the thiamine. White rice strips it away. Simple. So yes, they proved that beriberi was caused by diet and that parboiled rice could save lives. The science was sound, the methods were effective, and all it took was treating psychiatric patients like lab equipment and trapping workers in jungle camps with a false choice between flavor and survival. Science marches forward. Some people just get marched over. Here is the thing about consent, my curious test subjects. It is not just about telling someone the risks. It is about whether they can actually say no. When you are locked in an asylum or stuck in a remote work camp with no way out, informed consent becomes informed coercion. The illusion of choice is still an illusion. If this story made you question what counts as consent, hit subscribe. More dark chapters from medical history coming soon.